Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us here on KREM 2 News First at 4. I'm Whitney Ward. A Spokane homeless advocate is recovering at home tonight after he says a man who was staying in his home attacked him. We do want to warn you, the images of the victim could be disturbing. Kyle Simchuk spoke to his family.
Bob Peeler was released from the hospital today. He has staples in his head, but his family says he is recovering, and they're just thankful that this man who attacked him is now behind bars. Police say Peeler was attacked Friday night by Chad Counts, a homeless man he'd helped for several years who had been staying in his basement. Peeler's family said he went downstairs to tell Counts to keep the noise down when he was struck in the head several times. Peeler suffered a skull fracture.
My dad spent 42 years at SNAP working with the homeless community, and for something like this to happen at the hands of one of the people that he was helping for the last 6 years it was really shocking.
Counts left the house following the attack and was arrested this morning, charged with first-degree assault domestic violence. We'll have more of our interview with Peeler's daughter coming up tonight at 5 and 6. Back to you.
And tonight, Spokane City and county leaders are clarifying where they stand on clearing the I-90 homeless camp. The mayor, Spokane police chief, and incoming Spokane County Sheriff-elect John Knowles, who takes over January 1st, all came together for a joint press conference after months of outgoing Sheriff Ozzie Knezevich saying that law enforcement would clear the camp. Knowles today advocated for a slightly different approach.
The best way to address that camp is through non-law enforcement means of moving that camp somewhere safe and somewhere where it does not negatively impact that community.
Earlier this month, officers with SPD and county deputies handed out notices at the camp telling residents the camp is going to be closed. Today, Knowles said the reports out there claiming that those officers were harassing or intimidating homeless campers are simply not true. Coming up tonight at 6, we'll hear more about that, plus how city leaders plan to move forward.
We're not Seattle, but we need to get a handle on the situation before we begin.
That was Mayor Nadine Woodward 3 years ago in 2019, addressing the issue of homelessness that today has escalated to a critical level. And to better understand how we got here with what is now the largest homeless encampment in the state of Washington, I broke it down year by year, month by month. That's coming up at 4:30 tonight. We'll bring you that full timeline. In the meantime, though, we want to get right to our other big story, which, of course, is the weather. It's already extremely cold out there, and it is just going to get colder. But, Jeremy, it sounds like we have to get through a little snow first.
Yeah, this is a week of winter weather. Now, Whitney, last week we talked a bit about how this is typically our coldest stretch of the entire year, and this season is no slouch. Right now, we sit in the teens, pretty widespread across the region. 16 in Spokane, 18 in Coeur d'Alene, 20 in Pullman and Moscow. You factor in a little bit of light wind, it feels like it's in the single digits or even below zero in places like Omak, Moses Lake, and Kettle Falls. In anticipation of our incoming round of snow, we have winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings in effect. 4 to 6 inches of snow down low, 6 to 8 up in the mountains, and that does include us here in Spokane. A little bit of snow down to the south right now, but the real event starts overnight. We'll see some of those showers filter in after midnight here in eastern Washington and North Idaho. Wake up to it tomorrow morning. It grows more widespread throughout the day. By the middle of the day tomorrow, we're looking at some of our heaviest snow. It starts tapering off through the evening. So it lasts through the evening commute and then eventually moves out Tuesday night. And by Wednesday morning, we're waking up to clear skies and some of the coldest temperatures we have seen in years. All said and done, most of the snow stays in eastern Washington or up high in elevation. A few inches of snow on the ground here in Spokane and over in Coeur d'Alene. You're heading over a mountain pass, expect at least a half a foot. But look at those temperatures thereafter. Wednesday, down near zero, highs in the single digits. Thursday could easily be the coldest temperatures we have seen in almost a decade.
Oh my goodness, when you put it that way, Jeremy, thank you very much. The House Select Committee investigating the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol met for their final hearing just hours ago. They are now officially recommending criminal charges for former President Donald Trump and several of his associates.
The whole purpose and obvious effect of Trump's scheme were to obstruct, influence, and impede this official proceeding.
Coming up here in about 10 minutes, we'll have a full breakdown of today's final hearing. An Oregon Republican state senator has announced his abrupt resignation in the middle of a 4-year term. Senator Dallas Hurd once led Oregon's GOP party and officially rallied against pandemic safety measures. Well, right now, Democrats retain control of both the Oregon House and Senate. In his resignation note, Hurd expressed disappointment at the low turnout of conservative voters. County commissioners in Hurd's district will now select a replacement to complete his term. His current term ends in 2025. North Idaho College President Nick Swain is now suing the school. This is after trustees placed him on administrative leave. Court records show Swain was put on leave while the board looks into a change in Swain's contract. It does not stem from disciplinary issues. The suit argues the Board of Trustees didn't have the power to place him on leave in the first place. Swain is also asking to be reinstated immediately. An Idaho couple had to be rescued by snowplows after a snowshoeing trip left them stranded. They had a 2-night expedition that ended in panic after an avalanche buried their car and Highway 21 in snow. Look at that. They were able to dig their car out, but the road had just become impassable. It was a snowbank. Fortunately, a satellite text sent to their son meant he was able to sound the alarm, and within an hour, a snowplow made it to their location and brought them to safety. Wow. Another week has passed since 4 University of Idaho students were murdered in their off-campus home. And with winter session now beginning at the university, Moscow police say they are still reviewing all of the digital content they have gathered from cameras during crucial times before and after the murders. Today, Moscow police are sharing they've sorted through more than 10,000 tips. MPD also saying that progress is being made toward finding information regarding that 2011 or 2013 white Hyundai Elantra they've been looking for. Police say they believe the occupants of that vehicle, the driver or passengers at the time, could have critical information to help solve this case.
We have many tips that have come in on the 2011 to the 2013 Hyundai Elantra. But what we're asking is anybody else who still hasn't sent in a tip, if you own one or if you know somebody who was driving one the day before or the day after, to please send that tip in.
Law enforcement still asking also for any information that you could have that might be able to help solve this case. That tip line is 208-883-7180. You can also send an email to the address also on that screen. Nope, not on our screen, but it is on our website. In the meantime, the family of Xana Kernodle has started a memorial scholarship fund at the University of Idaho in her name. She, of course, is one of those murder victims. Here's a look now at the information about the scholarship. So the family will match up to $10,000 in donations. They say this scholarship is to honor her memory and keep her legacy at the University of Idaho. A 16-year-old boy in custody tonight facing charges of murder and assault after a deadly shooting in North Spokane. Police say 2 people were shot. Both were taken to the hospital. One of them later died from their injuries. Neighbors say the man killed was celebrating his birthday.
We just hear a bunch of yelling and screaming and yelling and screaming. And he asked me what that was, and I said, I don't know, but I'm going to go look. And as soon as I get to the door, I just hear the pop, pop, pop. And I knew immediately what that was. And then I heard that my friend was seen on the sidewalk, not moving.
Spokane police did arrest a 16-year-old suspect at another apartment complex nearby just 12 hours after that shooting. Washington Governor Jay Inslee and State Attorney General Bob Ferguson just laid out their latest plan aimed at combating gun violence. They are proposing now what they call 2 common-sense public safety measures for the upcoming legislative session in Olympia. One renews calls for a ban on the sale of military-style assault weapons. The second is a new proposal to ensure that gun manufacturers and dealers take steps to keep their products from landing in the wrong hands. Speaking in Tukwila today, the governor was joined by the wife of Devon Pickett Jr., a business owner who was killed in Seattle in October, and a student from Ingram High School, where another student was killed by a gun last month.
Today, gun violence, and this is shocking to me, is the leading cause of death of our young people, above car accidents, above cancer. This is what is killing our kids more than anything else.
Two different statewide polls in the last year show that Washingtonians do overwhelmingly support banning assault-style weapons. In a Washington poll taken by our Seattle sister station from July, 61% strongly or somewhat support a ban, 34% strongly or somewhat oppose the idea.